Hi guys, thanks for sticking with me. In this video I'm going to review the Nikon or Nikkor 10-20 DX lens from Nikon for my D3400. The f-stop range on this is 4.5 at 10mm and up to 5.6 at the 20mm, the most zoomed in. So that is straight off the bat one of the big negatives with this is it doesn't let a lot of light in, and so you will struggle to use this at night without bumping up your ISO, or in low light conditions you're going to struggle to use this when there's not much light. However, the main reason I bought this was to get some good landscape photos and possibly as well long exposure photos, which is where I would slap an ND filter on, and I would always use it on a tripod. So for that reason it didn't bother me that the f number was only as low as 4.5, quite a narrow aperture there. Lens cost about £300, it might be up to 330, or you might get some discount off that. Again, I'll put a link in the description below. This was the second lens I bought after the prime lens, and I really wanted this because of the creativity you can get with these lenses. So superb for just creating a little bit of an unusual image, you can be as, I mean, I'm not a very creative person by nature, but some of the shots I've came up with this I've really enjoyed making and had a lot of fun out of this lens. There is vibration reduction in this lens, but there is not a switch to be able to switch it off like there is on most of the other Nikon lenses. Not quite sure why. It hasn't affected that I can see any of my images I've produced on the tripod though, so it doesn't see that as an issue for me. The lens itself comes with your front and rear caps, as well as the lens hood, which is very useful for blocking out the sun and trying to prevent any unwanted rays coming across your image. It also has a manual focus ring at the top of it, so you can adjust that if you prefer, and a nice wee zoom as well from 10 up to 20. Doesn't make a huge difference, but depending on your circumstances and your positioning, you might just need to tweak that and create a different image as a result. Looking at some of the images I've got for this, because I want to keep this review a little bit shorter, what I really like this for, and I've not used it as much as I would like to because it's now over winter and I'm not quite getting the time to go out, but I find this really good for portrait shots, or portrait landscapes, which is sort of breaking the rule, if you like, of a typical landscape shot. But taking a look at some of these here, what I really like is they can give you a right good sense of you being in the image itself. This one here, taken of a boat down at Newton Hill Beach, really, this is probably one of my favourite photographs I've taken since getting into DSLR photography, because looking at this, it really feels like you are there. I like the fact that it makes the boat look a lot bigger and closer to you, and then looking off into the distance at the cliffs there, it really gives you a much greater depth to the image as well. It can be taken for your typical landscape shots though, where you can get a nice wide angle, like you can see at the cliffs here from up at the top, as well as this one down of Stonehaven beachfront again. A couple of these are long exposures as well, slapping my ND filter on there, which is the main reason I got this was this lens was to get those long exposure pictures. Another portrait one here down at Newton Hill Beach, and a couple my brother actually took, which is a bit annoying because they got this one in particular of me and Ali out with my drone, got the second most likes last year on my Instagram page, so that was a bit frustrating, but fair play to him. He's been in photography a little bit longer than me. And lastly, it's very useful for indoor shots, for if you've got decent enough lighting or a camera body that can cope with a high enough ISO. Really good for getting a full view of any particular room. So here we've got my gym and my living room, slash gym, gym room 2, and you can see that I'm able to show you everything that is in there when a normal focal length of the 35 or 50 in a full frame wouldn't be able to show you nearly as much as that. So is this lens for you? Well, if you're interested in getting that distortion to your pictures where you can get closer things looking a lot closer and distant things looking a lot further away, or if you're interested in landscape photography, then certainly a wide angle lens can be really useful for that. Also, something I've not dabbled in too much is more architectural pictures. Can be really good for that. I'm looking to get some of that on my next holiday whenever I go away again. Or if we get some nicer weather here, I could go out and get some shots of some buildings, but really good for getting a full building in your picture as well. Any questions again, guys, pop them down in the question box, or comments box, and if you're interested in checking a bit more about the specifics of this lens, I'll put a link to it in the description box below. Again, if you liked this video, found it useful, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to check out more reviews. Thanks for watching.